We're going to win the world, team.
Edwards. They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome to Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves win 125-112 against the San Antonio Spurs without Wemby. But the Timberwolves closed out a game in semi-convincing fashion. If you're new here, if you're a regular here, like the stream. You should have already liked the stream. If we get to 75 likes, we're doing a giveaway. We were just here yesterday, so might not be the longest show ever. We're going to try to keep it somewhat short and sweet, kind of like the game was tonight. But yeah, Timberwolves win. Do not get really too scared in clutch time. And Anthony Edwards was MVP Anthony Edwards tonight. Pretty great. But
really?
Anyways, you disagree?
Yes.
Really?
I don't want to make this a long show, so short show,
Yeah,
little short
whoa.
stack pancake.
Okay.
You order the tremendous 12 from Perkins. You're gonna be disappointed. You're not gonna get everything from me here tonight. But you may not look at, but I have a new setup right now, so I'm gonna be looking down a lot, and it's not at my crotch, or I don't know why I'm saying it. It's just like it's at the new setup. I think the second half, most importantly, the fourth quarter, showed the potential of this team this season, and a little, fast forward glimpse with binocular eyes of what this team could look like without Rudy Gobert. Like, I don't necessarily say that we need to get rid of him or anything, but this was one of my favorite games this season, where Randall was so essential, and Reed and Randall had great chemistry. It is very hard to see that game to game. The stats don't necessarily show. There's a couple games this season that it has, but tonight was one of my favorite games from the Randall Naz Reid connection. While Naz Reid didn't pop off for anything remarkable, he held his own defensively. He played his role, and most importantly, we played faster, and we played with a desperation in the fourth quarter where we didn't lapse on defense, and we played with each other, for each other, in what was a Spursian-like sequence where we couldn't be stopped offensively because we were passing the ball. It felt remarkable to see the ball movement and not as much ISO-heavy nonsense, and it just felt like we cared a lot more because we were down 7, we were down 9 in the third quarter, and no one player was taking over this game. Yeah, maybe you can say MVP Anthony Edwards, but I was kind of saying, hey, welcome back Julius Randle into the fold, because maybe his stats didn't show, but in the fourth quarter, fucking 7 or 8 assists, right? Yeah. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really starting to doubt myself here, because I feel like I have the exact opposite thoughts as you. But we're gonna try to keep it a short show. I felt like there were multiple times tonight where Randall was just the king of bad body language. I'm not saying I dislike Randall, but I just think that there were moments tonight where I was super uncomfortable with him. But anyways, we will talk about that more when we get to the tier list. Randall was a plus 30 tonight, so I am definitely off on something here. But no, I mean, this was, I think together, I agree with most of what you said there in the team being a little bit different, a lot more ball movement and a lot more desperation. And, it just shows what can happen when you do engage defensively and just put pressure on a team, both offensively and defensively, because what happens is the Spurs, who were looking semi-confident and capable the whole game, kind of just started crumbling in the fourth, where they started to not look good just because we were applying a moderate amount of pressure to them. So, previous teams, it was you guys don't need to freak out because we've given up 10-point leads in multiple games here. This game was more that got to them. That really bothered the Spurs. And of course, they're down Wemby, so that's it's not fair to really compare it. But for the Timberwolves side of things, it is a good sign that they can do that, and something that hopefully they can learn from and take going forward, because I do want to see they need to just put together some wins where in clutch time it's comfortable so that it's not a thing. Because right now, what's happening is you're snowballing the effect of like your nervousness in the clutch, and you're getting sped up, and you're turning the ball over a ton in the clutch. So yeah. But anyways, that's all I have to say about the game. Do you want to get into the tier list right away, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can get into the tier list soon. I just want to like kind of give some standout stats. These might be like 3 things that that stood out for me. 5 Anthony Edwards turnovers in the first quarter, right? Yeah, I think he ended up with the 6 or 7. We ended up with 12 turnovers. Despite that, like aggressiveness from Ant, I didn't really mind it. He even got a technical because of just like he was trying to get himself in the game, but there was a lot of stuff that was stagnating, and we saw that. And they built a bit of a lead, up to 9-10 points. But with all of that, dismay, with all that turnover, like it didn't actually truly affect us. We were within arm's reach of gaining control of this game. You said there's no Wemby, there's no Stephen Castle tonight too. We have to take care of these types of games. You know what was really nice? We got crushed in the paint last night and against Boston, and that's a team that we should dominate in the paint. Against a team that is very stout defensively and very system focused, they were breaking. The Spurs were breaking tonight, and we recovered after the first half in the paint. We only lost the paint by like 58-52 is what it says, but we really were able to tear open holes in the Spurs defense by taking Gobert out, which is my next thing. We looked the part. We look like a contemporary offensive set offense. When we had the spread 5, DiVincenzo popped off for like 13 in the fourth quarter. Randall playing his bully penetration kick offense, and he pops off for like 7 assists, like 10 points. He's killing it. And I thought this was a staple for me, like a marker, a benchmark for what we can be, and we can't be anything less than that now. Also, to kind of double down, this is on the back end of a back-to-back against a healthy, mostly healthy, vibrant, fast, young, youthful, with De'Aaron Fox-led Spurs team, where you know what was crazy about Spurs teams is that they would pass the ball. They are very disciplined defensively, and we broke them. Where they're not passing the ball well because we're recovering well, and they're shooting contested 2s because Keldon Johnson is their only offense. So it was very interesting to see how we basically changed their offense, and we tore into them offensively by penetrating the lane and getting to the line and shooting remarkably from 3. Yes, it's a make or miss league, but wow, that was like a big winded sentence. But like, we made our shots, we took care of business on the other end, and what 24 hours makes, because last night I wasn't feeling great about that win. Tonight I'm feeling very, very comfortable how we took care of business despite our start.
So that's a good point, because I was thinking about this during the game as well. It's like this felt like an early season win for us. Not that I'm necessarily saying I was in love with the Timberwolves early season, like the first 4 or 5 games or something like that. But there were moments in the first 4 or 5 games where it kind of felt like, even though the continuity maybe wasn't yielding results of winning by like 30 points every game or something like that, and just like total dominance, it was we were playing like the first half was kind of lax for most of the time. I'm not saying tonight was like terrible, but like we were down at half, and it wasn't looking good. It was feeling kind of like recently. However, it's like when we get to the winning time, that's where our players started to shine. And that's what was happening early in the season too, where I was like, okay, Ant starts having whatever he had in the third quarter. I don't remember. But the team as a whole, the third quarter just starts to, we immediately come back. And then the fourth quarter clutch time, we do enough to win. And tonight was more than enough to win. I mean, we were very, very good in the clutch. But there were games early in the season where it felt like we were very much focusing on not being dominant the whole game, but being dominant in very specific key moments. And that's what it kind of felt like tonight. So it felt good to me to have that third quarter because, at the end of the day, I mean, you could say this about the season, you could say this about a game, you could say this about a half, you could say this about a quarter, but like the only thing that matters is the scoreboard, and the only thing that matters is wins. And it's like, okay, well, who cares? I mean, I'm going to forget about a bad first half if we have a great third and fourth. Like, if we have a great second half, I don't care about the first half. If every game we're having a great third quarter and a good clutch time, I'm honestly probably not caring about the other 2.5 quarters. Same with the season. If we have like a rough start to the season, but like the end of the season in the playoffs is amazing, that's all I care about. So that's kind of what I felt like tonight. Not to say that I'm super confident in us moving forward, because we're just fresh off of these like last 5 games where it was like, even last night's win was, like you said, not that amazing. But it's a good sign. It's just generally a good sign. So anyways, let's get to the tier list. As I said, we're going to do kind of an expedited tier list in the beginning here. You guys can feel free to disagree. I know you probably will. And I'm going to play God here a little bit. And I told Ashwin to jump in if he disagrees with me too violently on anything, which is a bad sign, because the 5 seconds into the show we already disagreed today. But quickly, Rob Dillingham. Tonight, I'm going to pretend like I didn't see this game, because I did not like this game from Rob. There are moments when he's out on the court and I'm feeling good pace, like the last game where it was like we have some moments where it's like, okay, this feels good to have Dillingham out here, even if he is making really bad looking errors. I'm going to go meh. We care about you. I could maybe go lower, but we'll give him a meh. We're not doing Johnny Juzang, not doing Leonard Miller. Terrence Shannon didn't really get a ton of opportunity tonight, only played 12 minutes, had 4 points. Probably also a meh. I mean, there were a couple times where it looked like he had that nice, he had a drive. How many free throws did he get? He only shot the 2?
4.
Four. Okay. That's all of his points. Wow. Okay. But he had those moments where he's driving, and that feels good, but only 12 minutes. I don't really have a whole bunch to say. I'm not going to talk longer than he played. Jalen Clark only played 11 minutes, but I liked those 11 minutes, and he was plus in those minutes. He was 8 points. He had 2 threes, and he has the new celebration, peekaboo celebration. Yeah, that was good. I would honestly give him a nice. And then Mike Conley, 17 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He was a plus 10. I don't really have a whole bunch to say about him, honestly. I'd probably put him in old where we did last night, but I don't really have much to say.
I
felt a little better.
I do. I think actually in the early parts of the game, I really wish I saw more Clark. I didn't think we saw Clark until the second half. But then the fourth quarter happened, and it just felt like the ball moved, and any one player could actually penetrate and distribute. And that was doubled down by the fact that Conley was doing very well defensively, getting stops and switches and communicating defensively, where sometimes we have lapses defensively when we're not communicating, and Gobert's not on the court. So, right, like I was confused why we went back to Conley, especially, like his first half nonsense. And I really wish we had Clark out there. However, Conley really kind of just sold the whole idea of the spread 5 with the give and go with Nas. The penetration from Julius is a byproduct of Conley kind of being in the corner, ready for the second line of offense. And so maybe this is too many thoughts on someone. We're trying to speed run through this play test or this show.
Play test.
You know where my head is at, though. 4 assists, 5 points. It doesn't look great, but honestly, it's a huge part of the win is what he was able to provide in the fourth quarter specifically. I even think the third quarter stint was like kind of bananas because we weren't doing anything with him out there, and I was just like, I'd rather just see Jalen Clark.
Mike was plus 14 in the fourth quarter. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little worried about Dillingham. If anyone who had fresh legs tonight, it would have been him. And missing a 3 badly, having this really stupid fadeaway. Oh, it wasn't a 3, but it was like felt like a long shot. And then they had this like really contested turnaround the wrong way too that made no sense whatsoever. I don't know if he's just mentally there, and I'm worried, and I'm rooting for him. But long form, short form, I'm ready to move on, honestly, and just like get someone who can produce now. Because like if Conley's going to play like this, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I thought he was okay, but whatever. Old is where he always is. And then are we on to the starters? No, we didn't do Nas. And we can do Nas. We can spend a little time on Nas. Nas played 30 minutes, had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. He was 6 of 11, 3 of 7 from 3. This was a night that felt like a good Nas Reed night to me. I felt like the buckets that he was making were impactful, and in like just like I was kind of on a tangent about a little bit ago. It was like his buckets happened at moments that felt like important moments to me. And
Great point.
I like this night. This is the kind of night where I see from Nas, and I'm like, oh man, if we ever had to have him as our starting like 4, maybe I don't mind this, because of course the offense with Nas has always been there. He does, one thing he's been doing a little bit this season, he's getting a little squirrely and getting some steals and some blocks. He's getting some good box scores defensively. I still don't, I don't really know that I have too many thoughts on his defense tonight, but he's getting some of the stocks that you talk about. So, yeah, I don't know. I felt pretty good about Nas tonight. I don't know where to put him.
Nas was great. Nas was amazing. I love this performance from him. The fourth quarter kind of felt like the main part of the game. This game could have been the Spurs game. Keldon Johnson, De'Aaron Fox, and like Sochan, like some of the other people, Champagny, were like kind of like miserable, and it was just a 2 or 3 man game. Yet they were up. And that's kind of frustrating when we have this basically fully healthy roster, and we're still trying to find our identity amongst it all. But like we were very, very heavily reliant on Ant for the most part, providing a lot of a punch. And it just happened to be the fourth quarter when Ant was on the bench, right? It just happened to be when our ISO scoring god was not out there. The ball was moving. It felt crisp, and Nas was a part of that. Nas got a couple offensive rebounds, I think one key one, and then he had that awesome like kind of push like post like shot that was like it's almost guaranteed for him. But in a moment where we were maybe struggling for like a flow, he provided that offense, like you said, very important, very potent offensive production. And yeah, like his stats look decent to formidable defensively. He's not going to like shock you, but he just needs to be serviceable at worst, and like I think he was definitely that, and it shows in his team high in the fourth quarter, team high plus 20. Like he and Randall were awesome in a league where a lot of ways 2 4s, like 2 Draymonds can't exist. You need to have like a tall Porzingis or Wemby or someone that's very tall that can also spread the floor. We showed that we can have some smaller guys guard the Luke Cornets. However, there was no Wemby. There was no what I mean? Yeah. Like, so how would that have looked if Wemby was out there? I don't know. We probably would have gone to Gobert more.
Probably, yeah. Somebody asked that earlier in the chat, and I don't remember who. I was going to save it, but I didn't. It's just too difficult. Like Wemby's too much of like a unique player to like know what would be. It's not like even like putting like even if you're like LeBron James is coming in, like you kind of know what to expect from LeBron, but like Wemby's like, he can just do too many possible things. It's crazy. So
it looked like we were communicating very well with Nas out there, and Nas defensively at the perimeter is so much better, I think, than like last line of defense and kind of like getting walked into the paint. I think he's better than average on the perimeter, and I'm just like watching small things. I can't comment with any sort of like meticulous like knowledge. I'm just watching him figure out ball screens. I'm watching him figuring out and ushering players into the wrong spots. Like De'Aaron Fox is still going to get to his crafty spots. It was great to see Nas Reed trying to just like outperform defensively, at least in my regard tonight. So Nas was nice.
For sure. I'll put him there. I like it. Next up, well, now we are on to the starters. Let's start with Rudy, I guess, because he had weird no playing night. And I'm going to kind of let you take it away with Rudy because you had some thoughts earlier about it. But 24 minutes, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He was the only starter negative and plus minus. He was 4-6 shooting. He actually did take a push shot tonight, which didn't look terrible, but did not go in. And only had 1 foul, but again, he only played 24 minutes. But as you were kind of talking about earlier, you were kind of happy about this because, I know a lot of people are happy about this, but not so much to get rid of him, but just to see these minutes without Rudy on the floor and see how we how we survive and maybe how we look a little bit more modern.
I mean, that's really it, honestly. Like, we look more the part of today's NBA where it's spread out, and Gobert isn't like a linchpin on offense where they can sag off of him. We're not passing to him. They're doubling on Ant, and we can't get out of the double team. That's with Gobert out there, right? Like, and usually Gobert sets great screens, but we still have problems on the perimeter, late in shot clock, hurling up shots and getting costly turnovers and things like that. Gobert's not like the result or the reason why, but Gobert like sets the tone where we're sluggish. Why are we not like doubling down the Spurs early in the game? We have all the offense we need. We have all the tools right there, and it's just like we're not playing faster than them. We're not getting out in transition. We're getting bullied in down low, and it just seems like there's some habits that are like still there that he's not like really wanting to relinquish, and that allows them to get easy layups and Keldon Johnson to pop off the bench, and like there's no like change of mindset. But in a lot of ways, Gobert like did his role and was comfortable not playing in the quarter. I think it was really nice to see him not like pouting on the bench or anything, and like. Also, hats off to Finch for realizing we just needed a different type of look, and we went to zone. We changed up all these like the sets, and it really bothered the Spurs.
Yes, it did. Alex Rush, I prefer to celebrate after a win. I agree. Okay. Next up, who did we just do? We just did. We were doing Rudy. That's right.
That's also
Rudy,
interesting.
Getting Rudy rest when the matchup's call. Yeah, exactly. And that, I mean, it's almost like Mike a year and a half ago. It's like we get Mike, we have him. If it's not the right matchup for him, if he's not playing well, just rest him because we want to have 100% Mike, not 50% Mike or whatever. Maybe there's some truth to that. But Finch, if you're listening, we know you're in the Discord, so maybe take some advice there. I'm sorry. What was your final grade for him? Did you give a grade?
I did not, and I just think old is appropriate. I didn't really need to see him in the fourth quarter. Thank God we didn't. I think anything better than meh is kind of like, what are we looking at?
Yes, I prefer you get money towards a laptop
Ryan
after a
Robinson.
win. How about that? $2 more in the laptop fund. We're getting there.
I don't know if you joined late, Ryan. I have a new setup. It's pretty stupid, and like it's a really small laptop here, and my camera and mic are the same, but it's like it's pretty bare bones right now.
He's on a netbook from 2011,
basically.
And Tyler Place, Wolfpack, 58 people can't hit a like button for real. Let's get some likes up in the stream.
I appreciate all of you guys, by the way.
Yes, appreciate you all.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
You show up.
You do. Appreciate you all.
Unlike the Vikings.
Unlike the Vikings. Oh, boy. Yeah. Vikings After Dark was a rough show today. That was a rough one.
Oof.
Maybe JJ's not so bad after all.
Hey, JJ or Dillingham?
Yeah. Well, I would still. I'm still in team JJ. I think JJ is going to be okay.
I don't know, man. I also am worried about the other JJ and his like appetite to stay through this, whatever this rebuild is.
Yeah.
And like, should management and the coaching staff of the Vikings have figured out that like, maybe Sam Darnold was fine, and we don't need to like test the waters with new rookie quarterbacks. We should just like pay this man.
It's weird. Definitely weird, but we'll see what happens with the Vikings. However,
or not.
Maybe not. Jaden McDaniels, 33 minutes, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. He was 6 of 13, a little bit more aggressive tonight. Did have 3 fouls, 1 reversed. Or no, not 1 reversed. There was that call where it went out of bounds and he got fouled. That's what was reversed. But anyways, tonight, Jaden was aggressive. And similar, I hate to keep saying there's these weird parallel things that are happening between players and games and things like that. But it's like similar to the last game where it was like TJ was being aggressive and turning the ball over a bunch. It was kind of like McDaniels, although he wasn't turning the ball over tonight, there were some times where he was being aggressive, and it's like, I don't necessarily love that shot, but I love that you're being aggressive. Like I'm happy that you feel confident enough to be aggressive, because the way the offense is going to super duper thrive is if Jaden McDaniels is super duper thriving. You
Super
know,
duper.
yes, but like that's what was going through my head as the game went on. I don't really have any super strong feelings on like a particular grade. But I don't, I mean, I'm probably between like maybe I'm off, but between nice and meh. I mean, I also feel like this matchup, like they were putting him
Fox.
on Fox, thank you. And it was like that wasn't great for us. Obviously, Fox went off. And I don't know. I think what I said at first is what I feel more strongly about, is that it's like I like the aggressiveness. It's just that we didn't get the results that I was hoping we'd get with some of that aggressiveness. He did try to yam it on somebody at one point. That did not work out, but I love to see that.
I like his
wanna see
almost dunks
more.
quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to see that, because one of those is going to go through, and it's going to be. I mean, apparently Ant is just like done posterizing people, but Jaden is not. He is going to keep trying, and there's going to be moments this year where he posterized people. So, and I totally agree with this comment. They definitely play better in black. Thank goodness the new jerseys are coming sometime soon, allegedly.
I actually really loved this game. I want to be like nice or higher, but you can put him in wherever you want. He didn't have to like demand the ball, but actually when we were trying to get him going early in the third and did not look great. And I just thought we were forcing it. But then when it was in flow, it felt a lot better. He has these like random shots that, as you said, look kind of crazy. Don't love it, but like he knows his limits, and he's also very capable off foot, off a rhythm, off the bounce. Early jumper has improved, so he's very like soft with his shot, and it's showing. Maybe he didn't like produce stat wise, but I think first half, second half was a change in mindset, and second half Fox popped off for 6 points. Like, all right. I live with Fox popping off for very little.
Yeah.
It was a Vassell and Keldon Johnson for the most part show in the second half, and part of those are his matchups. But like Fox was kind of taking advantage of Jaden early in the court, early in the game.
He was. I think we can go nice for Jaden. I want to see more of the aggressiveness. I don't. I know Ant has said this to him before, but it's like,
it was Dylan Harper. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Thanks for checking me in, but
yeah, I don't know. Either way, he was on Fox for a little while, but anyways, I just want to see more aggressiveness, and I know Ant has already told him that, but I want to see it consistently, because he just needs to be consistent with that. Anyways, next up, let's do Dante now. Dante played 29 minutes, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, 7 of 14. This is kind of like the game you're looking for from Dante, to be honest with you. Pretty good overall, I thought. But based on how we've been gelling tonight, you probably hated it.
No, I loved it.
Okay.
I think his first half was abysmal, but that's because he was playing off the court defensively, and I just think that he wasn't in any sort of rhythm. And insert fourth quarter where the ball's moving, the ball's zipping into his hands, popping off for 13 points. That's what we need. We don't necessarily need 4 full quarters from Dante. We need a burst and to build a lead and or to get back into the game. That's what he provides. And the fact that we kept going to him when he's hot is like a battle that we sometimes fight ourselves, where we don't like find the hot hand and keep going to him. We like make sure that everyone gets the ball, or we do heavy anti-ISO or heavy Jaden or Julius ISO, right? So I really like this game. The game plan itself also fit his narrative, where he's a spot-up shooter, and we let him. We didn't like allow him to take too many other types of shots, which is great. 4 for 9 from 3, fantastic, all day, every day.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the game we're looking for from Dante, if we can have this all the time. And you're right about the like finding the hot hand, especially Dante, though, because Dante is one of these players where like when he's on, you kind of just have to keep it going. You kind of have to, you don't have to run the entire offense through him, but like he's got to get chances. You got to let him chuck it up a little bit. Sometimes we live with that and it's not fun, but on tonight's like tonight, it worked and it happened at the right time. I'm comfortable with cash tonight. I think the shooting performance was good enough. So cool. Next up, Julius Randle. He played 36 minutes. He had 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 12 assists. He was a team high plus 30 in a game where we only won by 13. But still, plus 30. He was 9 of 15, 2 of 5 from 3. Only 1 turnover, only 1 foul. You liked this game tonight.
Loved it. Didn't like it. I want more of it. I want every game to use this kind of formula. Like the fact that we had 5 out, I'm saying like the same damn point like constantly tonight. The fact that we had 5 out allowed Julius Randle to kind of confidently penetrate the rim. And it's like Luke Cornett. It's Champagne.
Yeah.
It's not Harrison Barnes. It's not anyone that's like really going to like deter him. But then he found openings when there was all this help that was coming in from last line of defenses, where he's passing to Jalen Clark. He's passing to Dante, and confidently they're shooting the 3, nailing them. That rewards Julius to keep doing it, and Julius kept feeding shooters. It was great to see. And the fact that, he didn't get to the line a lot. He didn't really like pop off offensively, but he picked his spots, and he had that insane 3 where it just felt like in rhythm. He's so confident, and he had that 3 in the third quarter that made me feel like, all right, he's going to arrive in this game. It didn't happen until the fourth quarter, but it was great to see. I loved it.
Yeah.
Catch.
Yeah, that's what everybody in the chat is saying. I think I'm just getting caught up on some very hyper specific moments that I'm thinking of, and I don't even want to bring them up because I feel like I'm in the minority here. So, but I agree with this. The Wolves will not lose many games that Julius has 10 assists or more. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the design that Tim Connolly was thinking of when he made this. Is like, okay, if we can have a point Julius and Anthony Edwards kind of start to get more guard role and be more ball dominant, and have a Dante who's not a point guard but can pseudo play point guard, and you have Mike off the bench, that's where you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, we can maybe make it without like your traditional point guard. And tonight was a good example of that working. So yeah, Randall's a cash double, almost close to a triple double, and plus 30 is crazy. Lastly, Anthony Edwards in our expedited. This has actually been pretty expedited for a tier list. This is pretty good for us, Ashwin. We've only been streaming for 33 minutes. Usually we're not even out of the bench by now. But Anthony Edwards, he played 36 minutes, had 32 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He had 7 turnovers, but he was 13 of 18 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3. Had that another third quarter where he scores double digit. He had 13 points in the third quarter. Didn't really play much in the fourth because all the players on the floor were kind of balling. So we didn't really need it until way later in the fourth. I think this was a really good Anthony Edwards game. But I'm curious to see what you have to say about it.
No, I don't think what I have to say is really productive. My favorite part of the game was that he early in the game deferred to others, early in the third quarter deferred to others, and then picked his spots and popped off when necessary. And then he got into it, and he had that like insanely like pirouettic like reverse layup. And he, after that technical, I felt like he was really engaged and besides, like, he was too frustrated with himself with the hand swiping and the turnovers that he was doing, and that he like let it affect him despite his awesome like first quarter. The third quarter was epic. Like, I loved seeing what he did, and he popped off at the right time, because also that exact same time it felt like we were losing control of the game, and he was the one who was keeping us in it for the fourth quarter to happen in the way that it did without him on the court. Like, it felt like because of Ant, we were allowed to like try that lineup, right? You know what I mean?
Yep. It afforded us that opportunity. Headshot, shout out. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. We're getting some caches. We're getting some HSD, and actually similar to what you said, By the way, he was supposed to get 40, but no foul calls.
Yeah,
Refs some
it's
BS
pretty
again
crazy.
tonight.
Like, it does affect you, right? Like,
This
hey, these
is
guys are arm swiping down and literally affecting
Yeah.
his shot. They're actually hitting him on his elbow and or wrist on threes.
Mhm.
I think Olynyk did for sure at one point. And it's just like they're not calling them. And this was a call, like in a lot of ways, the game felt like there was pace to this game because they weren't calling a lot of fouls and there weren't a lot of as many stoppages for like free throws and stuff. But
Mhm.
like, I would take the win over anything, but I do want his respect, man. Like his respect is earned, and he's
Mhm.
like he's supposed to be a superstar, and he gets fucking breathed on, and like or sorry, like an SGA gets breathed on, and then there's a call,
Yeah.
and like Fox trips on his own fucking foot, and there's a call, but like
I
Ant,
know.
gets mauled and gets no call, right? So
It really is crazy. That's the thing. I was actually wondering this during the game because the whole discourse online for the last 24 hours has been that like there's been so many of these big accounts posting that play where Ant gets hit and fouled by the other team and Rudy at the same time, which is annoying to have that in the same clip. But like he's getting fouled and there's no call, and people are the general consensus of everybody online is like, hey, like you don't get rewarded for playing ethical basketball anymore. You have to do the Shea flops and the things like that. Um, and what I was wondering is because I do think that some of these things take time, like you said, to earn that like not trust, but like I don't remember the word that you used, but like he should be getting respect. He should be getting respect from the refs. And I was gonna look back and I haven't done this, and I'll do this maybe tonight, but like I want to see when did SGA's free throw attempts start really ticking up in his career? Because SGA is like 3 years older, 4 years older than Ant or something like that. So it's like, at what point did it really start ticking up for him, and did he earn that respect? Because maybe, I mean, Ant is a decent amount younger. I mean, not crazy, but like three-ish years younger than him. So it's like maybe those 3 extra years, there's going to be some time for him to earn some of that respect. But that's just besides the point. I just think that it is a good thing that this is in the national spotlight right now, and it will continue to be after tonight with some of the missed calls that they had, because I don't want to see free throws. That's not what I'm here for. But I also don't want to see Ant get hacked and then just the ball goes to the other team. I don't want to see that. So that's my thoughts there. I would say for Ant tonight, probably a cash. I'm probably cash for Ant tonight.
hey, franchise history was made tonight. Apparently, most 30-point games by
That's
by a
crazy.
Minnesota Timberwolf. It is pretty crazy to hear, but also expected. Like he was going to break this record eventually, and he's just continuously going to be like on the Mount Rushmore of like greats that have played for Minnesota. I mean, we have Alexei Shved, we have yeah, I'm already killing my own joke. Cherokee Parks. Who else? Yeah,
You're on your own.
JJ Barea, Luke Ridnour. Man, what a
Wow.
mountain
Yeah.
of whiteness. And yeah, I mean, I just think that he's been amazing, and he continues to defy like traditional like Minnesota
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota superstars. He's
Mhm.
beyond it all, and he's playing remarkably well defensively. There's lapses, of course, but yeah, come on, man, we got to give him his flowers, as someone used to say.
Yeah. By the way, I just looked it up. Shea, the big bump for him in free throws attempted
Petrovic.
didn't come until his fifth season, where he went.
Oh,
So he started, it was 2.4 attempts for his first season, 5 attempts for his second season, 6 attempts for his third season, only 7 for his fourth, and then it jumped to 11 for his
wow.
fifth.
Look at you,
So
stat dropping, man. I'm just like, what show is this? Is this Zach Lowe, or
who knows?
who knows? It's some other show.
But yeah, so now he's consistently getting, somewhere in like the 9, 10, 11
Yeah.
range.
This is the SGA portion of my brain. It's just like
So
he lives here rent free.
so maybe it's time for that to change, because what is this? Is this his 6th season? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hashtag analytics. Anyways, Ant cash tonight, obviously.
Dude, this is hilarious. King Jack, I am noticing that.
That is
I
crazy.
just think it's also how Julius and how Ant get contact, how they drive contact, how they draw into contact. Like TJ just bullies in and draws it as he goes up. I think there's lessons to be learned, I think,
Yes,
and
I
ways to
know.
learn how to adapt to what's not being called and what's generally always called. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Here
know.
you go. Here's the thing with that. Kron says, here's the thing with that. Danging out advanced advocated like crazy in the national media, but him not getting calls. Come on, Finch.
Yeah. I heard that who was it? Was it Joe Ingles on the bench was giving the refs a hard time? Was it tonight or last night? I don't remember. But maybe Joe Ingles will have the Dagnall effect.
Our secrets, Tyler. Our secrets.
Garza. Yeah.
Cards in our hearts, man.
And Josh Minot. And nah, we'll never leave. No. I just have to make a new tier list and I don't want to do that.
I was supposed to, and I never did it.
That's okay. It works. We don't play our rookies anyways. So
yeah, Zane. Pog Zane. I think so too. I don't know if he had to do much in this game except for I think he found the lineup that was working. He went pretty small in the third quarter. That was kind of confusing. But in the fourth quarter, when he put in Julius Randle late in the third, and we started Nas and Julius, Conley, Dante. Oh, that was just so sweet.
Yes, it was. Well, there's your tier list, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we got a lot of likes in the stream, but we didn't get to 75. Maybe I have to lower that like rate again. We were getting a lot of views recently, so I wanted to make sure that I was not selling ourselves short. You know, we're a business over here. Big time business.
Big biz.
But no, I do want to give a shout out to everybody for watching, like you said, on Thanksgiving weekend, 2 games in a row. Kind of weird earlier games, not super early, but early-ish. Ryan, for the laptop fund, I appreciate you. $2.
Thank you.
And also, you know, we have like over 60 or I think it's like 60 or 70 people that, you know, we have very nice people in the community like Crone, like Eric, like everybody that gifts subs. You know, I appreciate you, and it is not necessary. You do not have to do that. However, there are a lot of people that decide to keep those memberships after that happens. And I appreciate that because that's telling us, yeah, we have 60 people that keep that membership and say, hey, I want to support Wolves After Dark and independent media. But no, for real, like I do appreciate that. And it's crazy to see that. And I don't really get like, there's no real opportunity for us to like, thank you for that other than just here on these streams. So I appreciate it. Appreciate those of you that do that. And that helps us keep the show running, pay for all of our bills. Cause there's not a ton of bills, but there are bills. And every day we're one step closer to that laptop. So
and more giveaways.
And more giveaways. We do need to do another giveaway here soon. So maybe next stream we'll lower that like rate or like goal down to 50. Back down to 50. I feel like that's a little bit more attainable. And we can go from there. And that helps us too, because we want it. The more likes we get on the stream, the more it gets pushed out to other people, and the more people can see us. And, you know, then we're doing ads for your favorite wings locations. Cool.
Yeah, and I just want to also just shout out Cameron, who's like been kind of basically just rocking this by himself all year. He's about to do it again. I'm about to be gone for 3 or 4 weeks, which is very, very unfortunate. So I miss you all. It's been great to have come back for just this weekend. Basically, is it the weekend? Yeah. And yeah, just ride with Cameron, like the stream, show him love, shower him with subs. I don't know, do this because this just fuels us to keep going. And hopefully, when I get back from my stupid ass travels, that I'll be here for the March, April, May push.
Yeah, for sure.
Into
We're gonna have
June.
hopefully some fun basketball to look forward to after the cup is over, which we are officially eliminated by the way.
Damn. Dude, but that's what I wanted. I wanted us
It
to
is-
not worry about it, so then we have that extra week to fix our holes. That was something that if we lost, I was going to bring up. That like this, like there's going to be like a 3-4 days like gap where we don't play, and only like 2 games are on the NBA, and that's the stupid NBA Cup. That's going to be us resetting and like, hey, here's a snippet in time here where we we looked less than, but we are starting to find our stride. I'm excited about what's happening with our team right now. The strength of schedule is only getting harder, though. So
it is. I kind of mentioned this in a different way earlier, but my closing thought of the night will be, late in the season here, when we are playoff bound or wherever we are in March or April or something like that, I'm not going to remember a 3-game, 4-game streak where I hated basketball. I'm not going to remember this, but if we're in the playoffs and if we're, even just like in the top 6, of the West, I like our chances against a lot of people because we can rise to the occasion, even though that's not maybe what you want to do. You want to fall back on your preparation. What is that? What ad is that? I don't remember. But I don't remember. Anyways,
it's like Lindsey Whalen and that guy who drops the ball.
That's what it is. Yes, Lindsey Whalen. Okay. But still, it's ups and downs all season, and maybe we're just getting out of the worst of it, and now we have the best of it to go. So cool. Well, 52 games, 52 wins, 52 games is going to happen unless something insanely bad happens. But 52 wins is still possible. Intro as the outro. HSD in the chat. We will see you guys. Oh, I didn't even say when the next game is. The next game is
Tuesday.
Tuesday against. We got the Pelicans games that I said that we were going to lose both of them. So we'll see. No, Tuesday and Thursday, both at Pelicans, both at 7 p.m. Central. We will see you Tuesday night. Peace.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the World Championship.